Faith Tilley had always admired how much her grandmother trusted Pastor Daniel Roy. She thought it was a beautiful thing, an old woman finding comfort in her faith. She did not know that trust had been quietly redirected into a man's personal bank account for nearly 4 years. Bernice Tilley was 85 years old and had lived in Birmingham, Alabama her entire life, widowed since 1998 and devoted to her church community. Her estate, built through her late husband's small construction business and careful savings, was valued at $2.7 million. Her granddaughter Faith, 38, visited weekly and helped manage her affairs as Bernice's eyesight and memory began to fade. Pastor Daniel Roy, 58, had led Bernice's congregation for over a decade. Bernice trusted him completely, often saying he understood her better than her own family did. In 2019, Roy began discussing what he called a charitable gift annuity with Bernice, explaining it would provide her income for life while eventually benefiting the church. What Roy actually established was a private annuity contract, naming himself personally, not the church, as the ultimate beneficiary. He structured the paperwork carefully, using legitimate-sounding charitable language while routing the underlying account into a business entity he controlled alone. Bernice signed the documents in 2019, fully believing she was supporting her church's future. Over the following 4 years, Roy systematically transferred the bulk of Bernice's accumulated savings into the annuity structure, periodically visiting her home to obtain additional signatures for what he described as administrative updates. The church itself never received a single contribution from any of it. Bernice passed away in March of 2023. Faith began settling the estate and discovered the annuity structure while reviewing financial statements. She contacted the church administrative office directly, only to learn they had never received any donation from Bernice through this arrangement, despite years of paperwork suggesting otherwise. Faith retained attorney Carol Jennings, an elder financial abuse specialist in Birmingham. Carol obtained the full annuity documentation and discovered the beneficiary entity was registered solely to Roy, with no connection to the church whatsoever. She also found 4 years of bank statements showing the funds had been used for Roy's personal mortgage payments and a vacation property in Florida. The hearing was held before the Honorable Judge Marcus Webb at the Jefferson County Circuit Court. Carol Jennings presented the annuity paperwork, the church's confirmation that no funds were ever received, and the bank records tracing the money directly to Roy's personal expenses. She called the church's financial administrator to testify that Roy had never disclosed this private arrangement to church leadership at any point. Roy's attorney argued Bernice had knowingly and willingly established the arrangement. Carol Jennings asked the court to consider why, if that were true, the documents had been deliberately structured using charitable language while excluding the actual charity entirely. Judge Webb ruled the annuity was procured through fraudulent misrepresentation and breach of fiduciary trust, voiding the structure and ordering full restitution to Bernice's estate. He referred Pastor Daniel Roy to the Jefferson County District Attorney for elder financial exploitation and fraud. Roy was convicted and sentenced to 7 years in Alabama State Prison and was removed from his position by the church's regional leadership. Faith used a portion of the recovered estate to establish a genuine memorial fund in her grandmother's name at the church Bernice had loved for 50 years. Bernice Tilley gave generously because she believed in something larger than herself. A man she trusted used that belief against her for 4 quiet years. The court made sure her real legacy stood. Would you have suspected a trusted pastor of something like this? Tell us in the comments below. And if this story moved you, subscribe to Court of Shadows for more courtroom drama stories every week.